Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the new Wet n Wild Autumn Lush collection. This is their collection for fall 2016, and if you've been looking for it and you haven't been able to find it, don't give up, because some areas of the country get collections much later than others. I've seen a ton of videos about this already myself because I look forward to their limited edition collections every year, and usually they're pretty good. So I've seen a ton of videos already, and I went crazy trying to find it, and I even tweeted to Wet n Wild, and I had said, the people at Walgreens are gonna think I'm crazy because I keep coming in the store every day looking for this collection. So Wet n Wild had tweeted back to me, and they said, well, it's not just Walgreens that should have it, it should also be Rite Aid and CVS. Well, I didn't end up finding it at any of those places because my local Kmart always gets the limited edition Wet n Wild collections, and that's where I ended up finding it. Everything in this collection is $2.99 each, so very affordable. It's 2 eyeshadow palettes, 4 matte liquid lipsticks, and 4 colored mascaras. I didn't get all the mascaras because I don't really use colored mascaras that often, but when I do use them, I use a blue one. So the one I got is in the color Sapphire. That's what it looks like. And it's a pretty vibrant blue mascara. So what I decided to do today is I used the blue mascara on my lashes, and then I put false lashes on top, because if I just use the colored mascara, sometimes you can't even tell that I'm wearing mascara. I really prefer like a black mascara. So that's what I decided to do today. So you might be able to see a hint of blue, but mostly what you're going to see is the false lashes. So I figured that way I could have a little of each in there. So that works pretty well. I mean, colored mascaras don't really show up that well on most people just because it is a color. So that's what I got for the mascara. And then I bought both the eyeshadow trios, and I have used both of these. I don't feel like either one of these eyeshadow palettes is very complementary with my skin tone. When we start getting into the fall season, everything is darker and warmer and more vibrant, and that just doesn't suit my coloring very well. But I have always been of the opinion that no matter what looks good on you, I mean, it's one thing to know what looks good on you, but it's so fun to play with all the colors. So a lot of times when I wear makeup, it doesn't always necessarily look that great on me, but yeah, I just want to be able to play with all the colors no matter what. So today I'm wearing Plaid to the Bone, and this is the eyelid shade shows up as a green in the pan, but then when you apply it, it's all right. Are you familiar with MAC Club eyeshadow? When you look at it in the pan, it's a beautiful shade of green, and then you apply it, and it applies like this warm brown color. So what I decided to do with that is that's what I have on in the outer portion of my eyelids, and see, it doesn't even look green, it looks brown. So that's what I did with that, and let me swatch it for you. See, on my finger, it's swatching green in the center and brown on the edges. So it's a duochrome, and it is a lot like MAC Club. So that probably would have been better suited to a crease color, I would say, or maybe an all-over lid shade, also putting it in the crease. When you do it that way, it does have a tendency to show up more green on the eyelids and then brown in the crease. But I wanted to use all the colors, so I didn't do it that way, but that would probably have been a lot prettier than what I ended up doing. And then this shade in the middle is what I put on my lids, and that is a matte, I'm going to say a blackish navy. And again, it's showing up like a blue, sort of a vibrant dark blue on my finger, but in the crease it looks kind of like a bluish black. And then the top shade on there is sort of an antique gold, which is my worst shade of gold. What I did with that is I have a little bit in the brow bone area, and then I have it on the inner lid portion of my eye look. So these colors really aren't that complimentary on me, but I wanted to try it anyway. So that's Plaid to the Bone. And the other trio is called Velour Vixen, and I tried this out the day after I bought it. And you get a yellowy cream shade as your highlight. You get a burgundy in the crease, which I love burgundy eyeshadows, even though, like I said, it's not the best color for me, but I do love burgundy. And then the lid shade is a glittery purple. This reminds me of MAC Beauty Marked, if you're familiar with that, and that's a pretty hard shadow to wear unless you have a deeper skin tone, and then it's going to look great on you. But for people with lighter skin, especially pink, cool-toned lighter skin like me, this is not that flattering, but I had it on the other day, and what I did was I just used a really light hand with it, and then it wasn't as bad as it would have been if I had packed it on. The burgundy is beautiful. It's kind of like, I would say, if you're familiar with MAC Vain Glorious, which was a limited edition shade, it's very much like that. Or it's kind of like a ColourPop Drift, that sort of thing. But it's just a nice deep burgundy. So let me swatch these for you. So that's the eyelid shade. So glittery, dark purple. There's the crease shade. Pretty vibrant burgundy. And then the brow bone highlight shade is a matte, yellowy, or warm-toned beige or cream color. All these shadows are very good quality, and I would recommend them because for $2.99 a piece, even if they're not the best colors for you personally, they are really fun to play with. And you can try different combinations until you find one that works good for you. I just did them the way I did because I really wanted to try out all the colors from both palettes to see if there were any issues with any of them. And I would say out of the 6 colors, I would say that matte blue is kind of difficult to blend and kind of dry, but the rest of them all performed really well, and I tried doing like some different things with them. I tried foiling them, and they still performed really well whether I wore them wet or dry. So they're very good quality eyeshadows, but that matte deep blue blackish one is a little bit problematic. But are they worth getting? Absolutely. And I think you could have a lot of fun with doing looks with these for fall. And not everybody has a burgundy in their collection, or a green-brown duochrome, or a bronzy gold shade, or a matte navy. So they're not colors that you always see all the time or that people have. So this is a cheap way to add those colors to your collection. Alright, the matte liquid lipsticks. There are 4 shades. They are all very fallish, and they are mostly all warm toned. And even the one that's kind of a neutral is very neutrally. These are very, very potent. I am wearing, let's start with the one that I'm wearing. The one that I'm wearing is called How Fleek Is Your Love, and this is a warm-toned red shade. applies like a dream. Fantastic formula. I wore the Wet n Wild metallic liquid lipsticks from the summer collection. I wore those all summer. Just amazing. I hope you got those, and I wish they would make those permanent. They are so fantastic. And from what I understand, metallic liquid lipsticks are very difficult to make in terms of formula and having them perform well. So I was so impressed with those. My favorite lip products of the summer. Wore them all the time. So when I found out they were doing matte liquid lipsticks for fall, I was like, all right, Wet n Wild, come on, knock it out of the ballpark, just like you did with the summer collection. And they did. The formula on these are amazing. The application is easy. They're very opaque, very saturated pigment, just incredible. And again, these are very warm tone in color, so not the easiest shades for me to wear. This is a warm tone red or an orangey red, so I look better in a cool tone red, but I'm still really happy to have this because it's a fantastic product, and I will wear it sometimes even though it's not the best red for me. But yeah, the formula on these is amazing. And I would suggest that you wear a lip liner with these because it's just going to make the application a lot easier. You won't have to be as careful about going outside your lip line. So just outline your lips with a matching lip liner and it'll just make it a lot easier. The other shades, this one here I haven't tried yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. This is probably going to be my favorite. It's called Too Tulip to Quit, and it's a beautiful plum. And I would say this is a neutral plum. To me, that doesn't scream like warm or cool. It just looks very neutral to me. This one is probably going to be my favorite, so I will probably be trying that one out next. And the other day I wore, speaking of plum, Don't Be a Plum Plum. This is a very warm berry plum. Very, very dark and deep. And this really didn't look that great on me, but it performed amazing. So yeah, pretty incredible. And the last one, which I haven't tried this one yet, is called Take It Like a Vamp. And this is a super, super dark, deep, almost like a blackish plum. And I haven't tried that one yet. Now, one thing I want to warn you about with these containers is they can have some leakage issues, I feel. If you get any of this on your skin, like not on your lips, but wherever, on your hands, you may have seen, see those red dots right there? That is stain just from handling this container. And yeah, if you get any on your skin or on anything, it will stain, and they do stain your lips. So you might want to keep that in mind, because even after you remove it, and I would recommend some sort of oil-based remover, whether it be like a legitimate lip remover product, or if you don't want to buy anything special, you can just use olive oil or coconut oil or something along those lines. But you will get some staining, and even after you remove it, there's going to be some color left behind. So keep that in mind. Like tomorrow, I might have to wear another red lipstick because I'm going to have some color left over from today. So yeah, that's very important to know. One thing that is a good thing about these, though, is they double sealed them. They put a full out plastic wrapper on them, which has to be taken off. And then once you take that off, there was a small thin strip of plastic around the seam. And I think that's because they may have been concerned about them leaking, but the added benefit of that was that you can absolutely tell if it's been tampered with, if somebody tried to open it in the store and do swatches or whatever. So yeah, it will be very obvious whether someone has tampered with that or not. On the eyeshadow palettes, it's just the type of seal that you always see on Wet n Wild, just the one little single thin strip of plastic on the edge. And the mascara was completely encased in a cardboard plastic type thing, so nobody can open those. So I think that's it, you guys. I would absolutely recommend these liquid lipsticks. The formula is pretty much perfection for a matte liquid lipstick. I wish that Wet n Wild's would come out with a whole full range line of these and also the metallic ones from the summer and add like a ton of colors. These are incredible. $2.99 a piece. You just can't go wrong. So that's it for today, you guys. I'm gonna play around with these palettes again another day and try to do something a little bit more complimentary, because I know that this didn't end up being the best look, but I think that the quality of these products is just top notch, and I would definitely recommend that you hunt this collection down if you can. The other mascaras were purple, bronze, and green. Pretty sure purple, bronze, and green. So depending on your eye color, I always go for the blue mascara because I like it with my blue eyes, and so, you know, depending on your eye color, you would base that probably on which mascara you wanted to pick up. Or if you just want to have fun with all of them, get all four. They're cheap enough. All right, that's it for today, you guys, and thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.